What do you think of the class clown? I love class clowns. I had a crush on one in high school. I always admired because they could do something I never would. I was a really shy and anxious student, so when I would see the class clown say the goofiest things out loud in a classroom really impressed me. However, I do sometimes worry for them because from experience almost every class clown I knew had big issues at home or was just in reality a really depressed person. I wonder if the cringy annoying person at work is the former class clown. The ones I went to school with were not funny, just annoying and attention-seeking, but they were jocks and cute and popular, so no one of course ever told them. They just kept encouraging them by laughing and hanging on every word. I wonder once they got into the real world if it served them well or not. The radio guys once called them jokey meeting guy and quat. The one person everyone has at work that are so cringe and extend those meetings by half an hour every time cause they won't shut up. When I heard that, I thought of those class clowns. I was considered fairly smart in class and this guy would not leave me alone. Made noises at me while I was testing, talked about my behind my back, just a really bad guy. My anxiety went through the roof one day and I might have screamed, louder than intended, "Shut up!" and quat. Everyone stared and I was so embarrassed. So, long story short, not my favorite person. Never cared. Thought they were funny sometimes, even if I was laughing at them and not with them. Only thought they became an annoyance when they kept interrupting and when the teacher had to waste our time trying to get them to shut up. A witty sense of humor is attractive and can show confidence in the right context, but only when they aren't being selfish towards others in their search for attention. Tell me why. Lol. Maybe a little different situation, but when I started dating my now ex, girls did not want him. As soon as we started dating, those same coworkers all of a sudden started flirting with him. Exactly why I just can't stand women sometimes. And he grew a big head. I've had the exact same experience and I cannot explain it. I feel like it's reductionist to say it's because I'm acting more confident or less desperate or there is a smell of pheromones, maybe whatever changes you made that led to the hookup after a dry spell, plus whatever NRE, new relationship energy, you are putting off equals higher likelihood to connect with more women? Like maybe that first connect after a dry spell is the result of work that you've put in and the additional attention from other women is also a result of that same work? It is your swagger. When you go a while without getting any, you act more desperate. The not caring attitude when you are not looking makes you more desirable emo. On a subliminal level, women sense that you don't need them, and that is curious and more attractive. This is based on my understanding of psychology, BTW, I have not actually researched this yet. Maybe women have a sixth sense for this. It happened to me when I started dating the woman I would marry. Within a week of being a couple, women were throwing themselves at me. Example is at a party 4 girls tried really hard to hit on me, one after the other, and they were not subtle. I was so confused at the time and I had no game and didn't understand women at all. It actually still bothers me over 30 years later. You are totally more attractive when you are seeing other women, and on some level I think they like the drama/competition. I could be totally wrong. When I was dating, seeing multiple girls at parties, if they knew I was texting/other girls writing on Facebook/MySpace walls, sleeping different girls, talking different girls at bars, they seemed more apt to try for my company or go the extra mile in bed if I was in a relationship. Things usually died about month 4 to 7. Then we'd break up and the cycle would start over. Girls want too. The guy that other girls want too. If you're in a relationship with a girl, other women are more willing to bet that you're a catch because they see that you're already vetted by one other woman. Especially if the girl you're with is way out of your league. They will assume you have something going for you and they want a piece of that. Day feels like you're never going to learn with your mistakes and stay unhappy forever. Well, what mistakes are you making? Honestly, that's a thing almost everyone will feel at a certain point in life. I was a bad kid, got into a lot of trouble, moved it very young. But life teaches you a lot of lessons. Good ones and bad ones. It's up to you to make the best of it. One last thing, don't let your mistakes define who you are as a person. We are all human. Nobody's perfect. I have severe depression and with the recent loss of my mother it can feel like there's no way out. So I try therapy, medication, meditation, walking my dog, and just letting the tears fall. Without her I feel like a planet falling out of orbit. Depression is often linked with black and white thinking. It feels like I've been slowly crawling out of a tar pit just to get a big kick in the face. But I am doing nobody any good by beating myself up. Success for me will be like many people's worst days. But I have to keep focused on improving my life, no matter how slow going it is. When you ask this, it means you already understand that you made mistakes, so it's good already. You admit them, and you admit that you didn't learn from them, at least once. For the other statement, no, I bet you'll keep those lessons in mind next time you'll have a chance to make similar mistakes. And no, not every single living creature can stay unhappy forever. What's one thing you find exciting but at the same time exhausting always when you do it? Kayaking. I love being out on the water and always look forward to it, but getting the kayaks on top of the car, then off the car and out to launch, paddling for 2 hours, give or take, then dragging them back in, getting them back on top of the car, then unloading them again when we get home, cleaning and putting them away. It's exhausting. Painting. Got a new to me house, and have to paint it all to my liking. Seems easy. No. Prep takes a lot of time, painting takes a lot of time, cleanup takes as much as everything else put together. Pretty, though. I'm not complaining at all, just amazed at how far off my time estimates were. Not even in the same galaxy. This one is a laugh. I am 5 feet tall, 115 pounds, not a large person by any measure. I got new full support nylons and they are a sweat to put on. Lots of snapping and cursing under my breath, hee hee. I pee a lot, so down they go and back up is a lot of snapping and colorful language. I love doll making. It's great fun and I love planning my dolls, planning what they're going to look like, their new clothes, all that fun. I'm always so excited to get started. But, is a lot of pain in the work. making sure I have the right materials, rerouting the heads, doing the face up, making the clothes and accessories. Each step seems to take an eternity, and by the time I'm like halfway through I just wish the whole thing was over already. Baking, especially things as elaborate as breads or cinnamon rolls or puff pastry, I honestly get so excited when I'm rounding up the ingredients and checking up the recipe, but when I'm actually done following 2 to 3 hours of intense labor I often go I'm never baking again and pass for another 3 hours. I'm a pro when it comes to packing for a work-related trip, but doing the same for a vacation makes me mentally tired, especially when I have to be prepared for all kinds of weather and different activities and events. I always second guess what I should take and end up taking so much more than I need. Going to the beach. I love the beach. I always want to go if it's possible. Could spend all day there and not be bored, and I dream of affording to live close to it, but packing and carrying the things needed for the beach and putting on sunscreen and walking up and down the dunes is exhausting. I'm big into raving and music festivals, but the older I get the more I wake up the next morning and wonder if it's worth it. My body just can't take it anymore. But next time someone invites me I'm going to get FOMO and say yes. I apparently still have some growing up to do. Dave, feel like anything you do is wrong and the universe punishes you for it? I truly believe I was a bad person in an old life to have such a miserable life today. Another day I just feel lucky I'm alive. It's all perspectives. Story of my life. Other people think that's just how we are when it's more like we work at it, so that's not fair. It may be a curse, but it's also a blessing. People expect that because we deserve to be looked at like that. What do girls do when they like a dude? Me personally, if I like someone I will make an effort to hang out and take an interest in how their day was, what they are into, etc. I'm pretty introverted though. For someone who is extroverted, it might not be a signal at all, just normal socialization lol. I definitely have never made the first move in my entire life. Sadly, I'm shy and scared of rejection. That is why I only ended up with men who are more brazen. Not a girl, and never asked one about this for confirmation, so I can't confirm if this is a thing in quad. But when I was in HS, some girls that I think like me would look very slightly to the side, almost looking through their hair, and then jolt facing forwards if she thinks you look at them, and then a few seconds later do it over again. One girl did this so much it would look like she was twitching. I would pretend like I didn't notice to not make her feel awkward, but it was stressful to say the least since I had pretty bad social anxiety back then. Embark on a series of deliberately obscure and easily missable cues as a test of his worthiness, keeping a written tally in a secret journal and enlisting all nearby girls into a cabal to track his movements and report on his every move until a final score is determined at a council of girls meeting held in the secret chambers accessible only via the ladies' bathroom. Or, feel slightly awkward around him, and vaguely embarrassed about it. Absolutely nothing. It's the guy's responsibility to read her mind, then approach her in the precise manner he read from her mind while performing any number of luck/religious rituals to ensure she doesn't change her mind by the time he's finished reading her mind or performing said rituals. The guys I like, I talk to them a lot, sometimes share personal stories/info, and the guy I like that I work with in a kitchen, I make him a sandwich every day because he's too busy to make his own food/eat. I also make him a coffee when he gets in the morning. But if you're not in a working situation but a school situation, if she notices that you need a new pen/pencil/eraser or something and gives you one, that might be a sign. As a girl, we generally don't do the eyelash batting routine. We make a point to spend time near you when we don't need to. We ask you for help first with things we don't actually need help with, and we tend to pay more attention to hair/dress/makeup when we want a guy's attention. If you say something about liking a shirt we have, and then we start wearing it a lot more, it generally means we like you. I don't know what other females do, but I tell them I like them and want to know if they want to take me out. If they say yes, good. If they say no, I move on. I don't beat around the bush. I hate wasting time. Also, if the date isn't going the way I like it, I usually tell them I am no longer interested and call it a day. Why waste his time and money and my time and money?